Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara, and I am here with your July 2021 forecast. And I am using my Animal Wisdom Oracle cards, and I picked them up and I was like, oh, my Oracle cards, where have you been? I missed you. I'm so happy to be connected with you because I still have the alligator up from June. I haven't touched these cards in several weeks since I did my June forecast. And we're tapping into in June the energy of the alligator, which was all about taking a long view, a big picture, and recognizing our community. And that has played out in my life in a lot of kind of unexpected ways. I've just been much more aware of the people in my community that I don't think of because I just see them when I'm walking in the park or in their neighbors who I hardly ever see or something like that. But just, I actually have been, and through the month of June, much more aware of the community and feeling much less isolated. And part of that could be the pandemic settling down here in California and things reopening and people getting out more and all that kind of thing. But also I think it was a shift in my awareness of recognizing that connectedness that's there that I maybe don't always pay attention to. And so that was one of my learnings from this month of alligator energy. And, the other thing is that we're coming up into a time of reflection and moving into a new phase in the year, which is, halfway through the year, we start thinking about, well, what were my goals at the beginning of the year? What do I want to do for the second half of the year? Where am I? And that fits into with alligator is really that discernment of what is the long view, what does matter. And that's going to serve us well going into the second half of the year because we have had that chance to reflect on what is the big picture. Who am I? What am I up to? What's the long-term vision for who I am and what I'm doing? And so I think that if you do any second half of the year goals or visioning or anything like that, then the energy of the alligator in June is a great lead in to that. So with that said, I'm going to start shuffling because I just wanted to hold on to that alligator energy for a minute, just to really acknowledge the role that that alligator energy of June has played in my life and my awareness, and to just tap into that a little bit. So now I'm going to start shuffling, and I just shuffle like this. I have to say I'm really struck by the colors of the cards today, like especially where was that dolphin one? I don't know where it went, but I'm just like, wow, these are pretty. I like these cards. And I guess that's, a reflection of I designed them the way I like things to look. So we're, again, Woodpecker is also about community and being part of something bigger than your life. And manatee, all about being in the present moment and choosing your future. Also really nice for this time of year. So I'm going to turn my cards the other way so I don't keep looking at them and have my brain start going off on what's happening. I think I'm going to pull 3 cards, and this is going to be the first card. So Buffalo, we had Buffalo recently, and I'm really feeling that came from the middle of the deck, and I'm really feeling the card on the bottom of the deck, which is the woodpecker, and then the one on the top of the deck, which is the hawk. Interesting. 2 birds and a land mammal. So as we tap into the energy of July 2021, the first thing that I want to bring forward is, as I look at this card, I'm really struck by this, be gentle. This is a time for patience, for waiting things out, for being gentle, for not flying off the handle, for not overreacting, but it's really a time to let things play out and see how they unfold. So if anything is new is happening in your world that may not be what you wanted, take some time with it, see how it plays out, see how things unfold, because it might not be what you thought it was going to be, or it might not be as bad as you thought it was going to be. That's the first thing about this month. And then as I pull up the Woodpecker card, you know, the two things that really strike me are the gift is being part of something bigger. So really recognizing that um, as isolated and alone as you might sometimes feel, or that nobody understands me, I'm just too small to make a difference, those kinds of thoughts, you are part of something bigger, and that something bigger is bigger. Right? So you are having that bigger impact. You may not just be aware of it because you might be looking at a smaller scale. So pull back and see how you are contributing to something that's bigger than you as an individual. And the other part of this card that really strikes me is the message to people at the bottom about your true nature. And, you know, when I talked to the woodpecker, and then I made this card based on that conversation. But the conversation I had with the woodpecker was really recognizing you are nature, you're part of nature, your nature is inherent in you, it's innate in you, it's unchangeable, it just is. And really recognizing and accepting and owning you are who you are. You couldn't change it if you want to. And you are a part of nature. So really, you know, one of the things that we can do this month to integrate that, the energy of the month, is to spend time in nature, to really feel part of nature, to feel our place in nature, to feel our connection with nature, but to recognize that our true nature, the core of who we are, it's in our souls, and it is who we are, no matter which kind of body we're inhabiting this time around. That's going to change our personality, but our true nature, it it's unchangeable. It's just always there. So that's the second part of the energy of July. And then the hawk is so different, but this is where the thing that strikes me here is the patience. And that came up with the buffalo, that reminder to just be patient. And you know, the single-mindedness isn't really grabbing me for the energy of July, but the patience, the gentleness of the buffalo, the patience of the hawk, that is really coming forward. So, you know, as I look at these three cards together, the buffalo, the woodpecker, and the hawk, the big picture that I'm seeing is we might have something happen that we didn't want to have happen. And we might have a tendency to go into upset or resistance or, you know, denial, whatever. But the hawk and the buffalo are reminding us to be patient, to allow things to unfold, to reside, total buffalo energy, to reside in that place of peace inside of us, regardless of our outer circumstances. So recognizing that what's happening is outside of us, and that doesn't have to disturb the peace inside of us. And part of that is really remembering that we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and our true nature is inviolate. We can't change our true nature. It's inherent in who we are, and that is our divinity. That's our spiritual place in the world. That's our connection with source, with nature, with life itself. So to me, this month, excuse me, is really, it's really about the opportunity, whatever the upset is that comes to us that's outside of us, whatever that upset is, there's an opportunity here for us to reside in the core, the truth of who we are, and be patient and be gentle and allow things to unfold without undue upset, right? So of course things happen, we get sad or angry or upset in some way, not making that wrong in any way, but I'm just saying that the opportunity this month is to recognize that even within upset, even within anger, frustration, disappointment, sadness, grief, we can still tap into that heart of hearts inside of us, that soul that is our true nature, that is connected to all other souls, that's connected to all of life, and recognize that we're part of something bigger than what's happening to us right now. So it's sounding a little bit ominous, isn't it? Just like, and I don't mean it in that way. And it could be, very subtle. It's probably going to play out in different ways for each one of us. But I think the energy of the month is the reminder of the opportunity to stay centered, to stay grounded, to stay in our peaceful place inside of us, knowing who we are, that we're part of something bigger, and everything will be revealed to us. Everything will unfold. But just to remind ourselves who we are and what we're part of, and who we are and what we're part of is we're eternal beings connected to all of the life force on the planet or in the universe, if you want to think of it that way. So it's a good perspective to take when external circumstances are not to our liking, right? So that's my forecast. That's what the cards are saying to me. I would love to hear from you. What do the buffalo, woodpecker, and hawk have to say to you? Let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments, and let's check back here later in the month to see how things unfold. I always love hearing from you, later on when you say, oh, that really resonated and that happened for me and it made sense, and now I understand it. Sometimes at the beginning of the month, the forecasts don't make sense. And then as we go through the month, take time to reflect back. Go look at the alligator forecast from June and see how that played out in your life. And then we can meet back here towards the end of July and see how the buffalo, woodpecker, and hawk energy is coming forward and has come forward for us over the course of this month. If you are interested in purchasing your own set of these cards, which I love, there is a link below. And I look forward to a beautiful month for each and every one of you. And I look forward to connecting with you next time. Have a great month. Bye, everybody.